All right, if you're watching underneath me right now, you're seeing AMD, which is the terrific rival now to Intel, trading down. Shares are under pressure. Despite ongoing tariff headwinds, the chipmaker reported better than expected earnings, but then gave a revenue forecast that surprised some people. I don't know how it surprised them, but because it's been pretty well telegraphed. So why don't we go to the source? Joining us now exclusively is AMD CEO Dr. Lisa Su. Lisa, a lot of people are saying that they should take numbers down and that there's a demand issue. I look at what you've been telling us ever since the stock was at 18 at the beginning of the year, now it's 32, that there was going to be a kind of a gap quarter, so to speak, between consoles. And this is what happens when you get a gap quarter.
Hey, good morning, Jim. It's great to be with you this morning. Look, we're very pleased with our second quarter results. We grew revenue, 20% sequentially, and we've launched a slew of new products across, PCs, data center, and graphics. As we look forward in the year, yes, we did revise guidance a little bit downward due to game consoles. And if you think about it, game consoles are a great overall market. However, Microsoft and Sony just announced their new, consoles just here a couple months ago, and that's caused a little bit of a pause in demand. But if you look at overall, I think we feel really, really good about the markets, and particularly about our new products.
Okay, so Lisa, let's go over some of these demand issues, so to speak. PCs, I saw good demand, and I believe I saw big share take from a company that was always the dominator, Intel. Do I read it right?
So on the PC standpoint, the overall PC market is good, as you say, Jim. And then for us, we did very, very well in the quarter. We saw notebooks grow substantially, double digits sequentially. We saw a number of new platforms come into play. We also launched a new set of products, our third generation desktop products, which just got great reviews. So I'm really pleased with where the PC market is going. And I expect that in the second half of the year, we'll continue to gain share and grow revenue in that market.
When I look at what can happen in the fourth quarter, a lot of people worry about execution risks. The only thing I'm worried, given the fact that you have out-executed everybody for the last couple of years, is how a stock goes from 2 to 32, is perhaps China. Where are you on the risk China for your fourth quarter?
Yeah, so, the best way to look at our business, Jim, is we're all about our new products. And if you look, just in the last 60 days, we started ramping 3 new product families. So new desktop processors, new graphics processors, and we're just about to introduce new data center processors. So that's the big story around AMD. Yes, we are forecasting significant growth into the second half of the year, and that's on the back of the new products. As it relates to China, look, it is a very fluid situation in China. I think, all of us in the semiconductor industry are watching it very closely. We have stopped shipping some products to a couple of our customers that are on the U.S. entities list, and that is a little bit of a headwind into the second half of the year. But we have great products that are backstopping some of that, and so we feel really good about the growth prospects into the second half.
Hey, Lisa, it's Carl. You got to feel for investors in the space because every day they're given what seems like conflicting information on inventory cycles, where's the bottom, inventory stockpiling, pricing. What's the simplest, how simple can you put it in terms of where we are in this cycle, at least from your perspective?
Sure, Carl. So look, when we think about semiconductors, you should think about it as it's a secular growth market. It's a good market. There are pockets of inventory, whether you're talking about some of the data center issues in the first half of the year, or you're talking about some of the volatility around China. But for us, there's new demand. People want to build new data centers. People want to ensure that they get better CapEx efficiency. People want new, gaming products. And so as a result, I believe if you have a strong product portfolio, you're going to see growth, even though there is a lot of volatility in the market.
All right, Lisa, I want people at home to understand what you're trying to pull off here. You've got 3 new products, including Rome, which apparently, when it comes to you, wasn't built in a day, but maybe a quarter. And these are remarkable achievements for an AMD that used to be cash-strapped, that used to have too much debt. Look, anyone who takes the stock from 2 to 32 and 18 to 32, I'm going to give them a victory lap. Tell people what it takes to have 3 brand new products coming out all at once, just execution-wise and engineering-wise.
No, for sure, Jim. Look, this is all about execution. It takes many, many years to get these products ready, really 3 or 4 years. When we think about it, we knew 2019 was going to be a special moment. We knew it was going to be an inflection point for our product portfolio. We were aggressive on technology, so we're first to market with 7-nanometer technology in these high-performance markets. The team is extremely excited and executing well. I think Rome is a very exciting product. You're going to see it next week. We're going to launch it in San Francisco. You're going to see a number of customers, a number of new platforms. And the key is, in our business, it's all about execution, right? When we promise customers a product, we need to execute on that timeline. And so we're all about execution and meeting our commitments.
Lisa, the analysts are really focused on the next quarter. The other day, someone won $3 million playing a game. AMD specializes in this. Do you see a world where we have a much larger group of gamers, including people who may want to go to college at $100,000 a year, and the way they get in is an NCAA scholarship for gaming? Is this thing growing by double digits, and therefore we should be thinking maybe about even 2020 if I can go out that far? I know the analysts can't.
Well, I think you're absolutely right. Gaming is a very exciting market. And if you think about it, you have gaming now on every platform, right? You have gaming on PCs, you have gaming on consoles, you have gaming in the cloud, and you even have gaming on mobile. And so, our world is, how do we get the best user experience there? I do think gaming is a growth, a secular growth market over the next couple of years. I do think our technology is very well suited. If you look across all of those markets, at the end of the day, being partnered with the biggest gaming companies like Microsoft, like Sony, like Google, that really gives us a good place to be.
All right, let me ask you kind of out there question. Do you follow the president on Twitter? Because you mentioned a list of companies that you're not supposed to sell to. How do you be a CEO and you can sell, but maybe tomorrow not sell? Well, hold it just a second, you can sell. Have you ever thought that this would happen to the CEO of AMD?
Well, look, I think we are very cognizant of the fact that it's a complex world out there. Clearly there are a number of issues with China as it relates to trade, as it relates to national security concerns. We fully understand that. And, our goal is to have a diversified business, one that can turn on a dime. And sometimes we are turning on a dime, but I would say, overall, when you look at the growth that we're seeing and, the new products that we're putting out there, I think we feel really good about where things are, and we'll continue to follow very closely, the macro situations.
I hope you won't mind me asking, really, what's a good example of you turning on a dime?
Oh, look, when we talk about, how we position our products, I mean, take a look at our portfolio today, and, from a PC standpoint. I mean, we are offering leadership performance at every price point. And, you look at some of our new graphics products. When customers call and customers say, hey, we'd like your help to get our data center up and running, we're there in 24 hours because that's the way that this business operates right now.
All right, so Lisa, last question. When you took over, what was your share PC versus Intel, and what would you estimate your share PC versus Intel now?
Yeah, so we've made good progress in share gains, Jim. If you talk about where we were probably high single-digit PC market share a few years ago. Now, market share is not turned overnight, but we've gained 5 or 6 points of market share over the last 5 or 6 quarters. And I'm even more excited about what we see into the second half of 2019 and into 2020. So from a standpoint of market share, I think we're still underrepresented in the market. I think people are still getting to know AMD and getting to know what we can offer to the market. But I feel really good about where we're positioned. And, this is a journey. As you said, Rome wasn't built overnight, but we're making progress building.
Well, look, congratulations on all you've done for shareholders. Lisa Su, CEO, AMD. Thank you so much.